And a very good morning to you. Thank you so much for keeping it K24. My name is Shiko Kaitani. Always a pleasure coming to you every morning from 8 to 9. And of course, receiving some of your feedback and your salams through our social media platforms. That is at K24 TV on Instagram, Facebook, as well as X. Our WhatsApp number at the bottom of your screen should you wish to contribute, as I always say, to our ongoing discussions on K24. All right, it is that time of the year again where we get to celebrate who we call our endo warriors out there. Indeed, March is known as the Endometriosis Awareness Month. And even as we talk about what many women describe as a painful order, it's also the perfect time to celebrate the achievements that this particular community and in terms of advocacy that they have made in bringing attention to this particular disease. And so here in studio with me is Doris Murimi. She's not a new face or guest, obviously, to the station. She has been here quite a number of times. She's the founder of Endo Sisters East Africa and also the author of what we have right here in front of us. Doris, welcome to the show. And then we do have a board member as well from the Endo Sisters East Africa, Harveen Bansal, in studio with us. Harveen, welcome.
Thank you very much.
So ladies, we are looking good.
Thank you.
Hey, March is here with us.
Yep, the yellow day, the yellow color.
Thing,
yes.
the yellow nails.
Yes, exactly.
All right, so you will be telling us obviously about the books, the resource materials that are here, Doris. I know you also do have a campaign known as the Yellow Nails Movement that you're very excited to share with, of course, our viewers. But let me just start off with you in regards to giving an intro to this particular show. Let's just set the pace. We've done the groundwork even with you, and we are in the so-called information age, aren't we? But does it actually still worry you how many people don't even know? Actually not even know, even have heard of the term endometriosis till this day?
That absolutely continues to blow my mind.
Yeah.
I keep getting shocked, and that's why I say that advocacy is a lifelong thing. It's not a one-day issue, you know.
Yes.
We launched, for example, the Yellow Nails campaign 5 years ago, and it was about starting the conversation.
Right.
And until now, there are people who have never heard of endometriosis. So it absolutely surprises me and it shocks me, particularly because so many girls, you know, they say 1 in 10 women will suffer from endometriosis. But actually a research that's been done on African women actually shows that African women, it's even probably about 1 in 6 or 1 in 8.
Oh,
so
geez.
that's even, you know, a higher number. So with all these women and girls going through this pain, you know, the fact that nobody ever thinks of reporting it or that it's not captured, it's mind-blowing, honestly, and actually pretty sad. Yeah, pretty sad.
I can guarantee you maybe 2 or 3 of the guys in this studio have never heard. In fact, see that guy there at the end called Joshua. Tell him what endometriosis is.
There's a book. There are 2 books.
There are 2 books to help him.
So explain that for those who are like, what is endometriosis?
Yes, so endometriosis is a debilitating condition where deposits similar to those found in the uterus lining are found elsewhere and not in the same, you know, not in the uterus. They're found elsewhere in the body, like in the pelvic region. They could be found in the ovaries. They could be found in the rectum. They even go as far as being found in the diaphragm. You see women getting lung collapses. In the eye, in the brain, you know, different places. Belly button even.
For you, Harveen, just roping you in because you're also an endo warrior, besides you know, obviously being a board member. It's the issue of also not knowing when something is wrong or what is wrong. Talk to us about the challenges around proper diagnosis of endometriosis, because a lot of people say it took us a while, or took me a while, to figure out what was actually wrong.
I think just recently when I was producing a reel for our social media, I saw a statistic that says that between presentation to diagnosis sometimes is 10 years.
Oh, wow.
So the basic problem is the lack of awareness and understanding. What is this disease? Yeah, and how does it present? Like Doris has said, it can present in so many different areas of your body.
Right.
So it's not even to say, blame like the medical community for not knowing. If it's going to present in a different way, a GP will not understand.
Right.
That's the issue, right? For myself, I had a presentation in gastric symptoms, so which were not even aligned with my cycle or anything for it to even have a slight indication that maybe it's endometriosis.
Wow. Yeah.
So that's one of the biggest things is the lack of understanding. So if even medical professionals and even ourselves as women, if we educate ourselves and say, okay, you can present it to the doctor and say, did you think maybe it could be this? And the doctor could think, all right, and do some research and then figure out where to send you. That's the issue. The issue is that there's a lack of awareness. And then additionally to that, although imaging diagnostics have really improved, it's not still accessible everywhere as it should be and affordable. So that also adds to that, that between 1 and 10 years, that's what adds to it. So number one, you might be just told that it's just normal menstrual pain.
Right.
And number two, you might not be able to access the test that will get you the diagnosis.
Yeah. And just based on some of those testimonies, because we're going to be playing more even as the show continues. Doris, one thing that actually did stand out was the day-to-day challenges of living with endometriosis. How does endo really deny women the opportunity to lead normal lives?
Yeah. Thank you for that. I just wanted, first of all, to start by touching on what Haveen had said, that, her symptoms, first of all, didn't even present like the gynecological symptoms. Indeed, it has been seen that endometriosis is a whole body disease. Right. It's not just limited to gynecological conditions. So you can imagine now when you think, to get back to your question about how it affects the women now in their day-to-day lives. I mean, very many things. When you think about education, research has shown that the age bracket between 16 to 24, they get impacted with education. Right. They are not able to attend class, they're not able to engage in PE and extracurricular activities, they miss exams and all that. Then the age of 25 to 34, again, life. Life skills, going to work. So that is impacted. You can't, you're not a good employee, you keep missing work, you're always out sick, those kind of issues. And then women over 35, many of them have really financial, are really impacted financially, because at this point, they have realized that fertility is an issue, and they're using a lot of money trying to conceive, not knowing that they had underlying issues. I mean, amongst other issues, because some of them, even if it's not the issue of fertility, it could be other, comorbidities that are there, and happening, maybe becoming sicker and all that. So those are the issues. So you can see it really does have a grave effect on women.
I was extremely touched by some of the stories that, our endo warriors, gave me and our team. We were just shocked to see how someone could live like this 7 years, 10 years, 13 years, not even knowing what's wrong, and getting that specific diagnosis. But there was something that, Harveen, I also picked up on, which is the importance of women arming themselves with information. How did you go about this, and was this such a huge game changer for you, doing your own research, getting on top of things, hitting the ground running and not waiting for, third, fourth, fifth opinion?
Okay, so my case was a little bit different. Because I was already presenting with the gastric issues. I'd already gone through over a year and a half test to figure out what the issue was, and I was only diagnosed when they went in and did the laparoscopy. So I found out, I mean, I knew it existed, I knew it's a menstrual disease, but I didn't know what it was. So it's after that, my education started after that. Right? And before anything else, I'd like to say that when you are out there, when you are doing your research or you are speaking to people to find out about it, please ensure that you're getting your information from a reputable reputable source.
Yeah.
Or if someone does tell you something, like if you say something today, go and check it out and confirm it with a reputable source. Because what you don't want is when you're speaking about it, then you're spreading
misinformation.
Misinformation. You don't want that. You want the real facts to be out. So so my educational journey started after the first surgery, and then I've started figuring out what it is. Then my doctors recommended me to join the support group with Doris. That's when I learned a lot more about how the disease is presenting by speaking to the actual ladies who are suffering from it.
But don't you feel more empowered?
Yes, definitely.
Right now, since your educational journey, as you call it,
definitely,
started.
definitely. The educational journey as well as the support I had, I was very, very blessed. I had wonderful doctors. I had a wonderful support system. I had a wonderful boss. And I feel that I have been given that chance, and now I need to take that chance to spread as much awareness as I can.
Right, right. Okay, before we take a short commercial break, I just want to bring your attention to what we have here at the center. I don't know if my camera crew would be able to just zoom in on the books that we have on set here, because it's very important that we let women know that there is help out there. You don't have to be alone. There are people who've gone there before you. FYI, let's just say Doris went before you. Did all the hard work and put it in a number of pages for you to understand when something is wrong. So first of all, clap, clap, clap for the achievement, Doris.
Thank you.
What? There you go. An author, you've got two books here. There is When Something's Wrong, and then you've got Demystifying Endometriosis, which you've actually labeled as an endo kit. So first of all, why don't you just give us a synopsis of both?
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So When Something Is Wrong was actually targeted at the younger generation, really school-going children. And these are girls at the age of around 12, 13, you know, when they start their menses. And we are fortunate that it was actually approved as a KICD approved book for schools. And really, it was to give them a background and a really good understanding about what menstrual disorders are. I realized that just diving straight into a condition like endometriosis, and there are many conditions, PCOS, fibroids and all that, but without giving them the background of what to look out for in with their menstruation and that kind of thing, it would be pretty confusing. So the book When Something Is Wrong is actually telling them about when something is wrong, when their menstruation, when their menstrual cycle doesn't conform to the proper way it should, because it's too painful, it's too heavy, it's too long, or in cases it just doesn't show up. You just don't have periods, and everyone else is having periods. So those are issues. So it gives that, starts with that background, and then now eases into the different kinds of conditions. You know, it doesn't just talk specifically about endometriosis, but it highlights issues such as polyps. Because these girls could be affected by any of those issues. It talks about PCOS. It talks about fibroids, adenomyosis. And even makes mention of PID, pelvic inflammatory disease, because for the longest time, endo warriors were always told it's PID. So it also makes mention of that. So it explains this, and it kind of empowers them, because it's written like a story in the eyes of children, of school-going, kids, and they see how they discover and how they get empowered. So it helps them even learn to be empowered and to advocate for themselves. So that's When Something Is Wrong. So now we have Demystifying Endometriosis as the other. Demystifying Endometriosis is really a resource for the Yellow Nails movement, and this was to really help endo warriors, and it's really focused on endometriosis specifically. And what it does, it busts like 25 different myths and misconceptions. So some are myths, some are misconceptions about things that endo warriors are told, which are not true. Like, for example, a very controversial one was that the source of endometriosis is women who have had abortions, for instance. Which is totally untrue and unfounded, but has caused many women a lot of pain and shame, because they're being shamed for something that is not true
Yes.
About this disease. So we've made sure we've busted those myths, and
Yeah.
we've set the record clear, so that whoever is reading it, be it the warriors or their support systems,
Yeah.
they actually understand what this, all these myths that are there that are unfounded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I know you're probably wondering, okay, what's the Yellow Nails movement? There's a gentleman here called Dominic, one of my camera crew members, who came in here because it's like, oh, lovely ladies in yellow, and what's the Yellow Nail movement? Let's also break it down, ladies, about what the Yellow Nails movement is all about. So what is it? Because you've written it here as hashtag Yellow Nails movement.
Yeah. It indeed, the Yellow Nails movement is a campaign that was started 5 years ago.
Yeah.
When we started it, it really originates from the fact that endometriosis is identified by the yellow color.
Yeah.
Hence why we are all in yellow today.
I know. I got the memo as well. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for honoring that. So and then because of the yellow color, traditionally the yellow ribbon is what is shown to signify endometriosis awareness.
Yeah.
But in reality, people don't recognize the yellow ribbon because it's not as recognizable as the pink ribbon for breast cancer or the red one exactly for HIV/AIDS. So to make it more, because we know that this issue, of course, affects women a lot, we thought, why not get into their faces, go to where women are, and we know every woman, whatever social background, nail polish is just one thing we love. From the time we are girls, all the way until,
whatever age.
Even if it's a colorless, we still want to put, some nail polish. So we thought, well, why not then pick the yellow color for the nails and put that on and kind of make a statement and create awareness about it. And the interesting thing was that yellow is actually a conversation starter. I mean, people will put red or any other color, but yellow, I found women asking me, wow, you're so brave.
Why
mean,
would you
put yellow? Why put yellow? And they say, it's so blinding. Why would I put yellow? I mean, that kind of thing. So, and that's exactly what we wanted to happen, to, start the conversation. And also, when you think about the target group, the young, teenage girls, this is the kind of thing that will attract them.
Absolutely.
This yellow color, it's bold, it's striking, it's different.
I love it.
I love
it.
Exactly.
All right, let's take that short commercial break. When we get more, we'll be hearing about what the Endo Sisters East Africa community are doing on ground to just be more out there, more in your faces. Let's talk about Yellow Nails and more when we get back, okay? And how you can participate. Yes, you too, gentlemen, you're part of this conversation as well, and we'll be telling you how. All right, so let's see you on the other side as we get talking more about the human faces of endometriosis.